Hello, it's Dan from Skills Miner again. In the previous video, I just took you through what a candidate will see when they go through the Skills Miner. In this video, I'm just going to briefly take you through what staff will see. Now, staff can mean many things. It could be somebody who owns an organisation who wants to strategically look at what's happening with their aggregated candidates. It could be a careers advisor at a college. It could be a tutor. It could be an employability type provider if it's at a local authority or whatever. It can mean many things, but we have a few roles in the system anyway that allow us to legislate for all of those things. I'm going to log into the Cache alumni instance first of all as the kind of org admin. That is the most, if you like, elevated view that we have in an organisation. So in essence, the org admins can see everything, if you like. So like I say, we're looking at Cache alumni now. You can see here we don't have any data in here because we don't do reassessments, obviously, as a result of the type of things that we do with Cache alumni. But if we do reassessments, obviously this populates with the kind of distance travelled metrics. But you can see overall here your caseload sizes, how many people have been invited, how many have accessed it, how many have completed the initial assessment, etc. You get to see your initial average work style scores. So of all of those 29 people that have completed it, that is their average score. Same again here for interests. What is the average for those learners that have done it? And of course the locations where people are from as well. We also able to see what type of jobs that people are looking at, and we do this by kind of the low-level job families. So because we just recently launched this, since we just recently deployed this, you can't see much information. I might very briefly show you what it looks like on a more complete system that we've got in dev, so you can see what that data looks like in a minute. But you can see the actual low-level jobs, and you can see almost the job family which that sits against. Similarly, for the qualifications that have been viewed by the aggregated view of that the group of candidates that have been through that, and then similarly here we can just see some numbers as well that kind of reflect some of the things that we've just said. So the overall numbers of jobs viewed, saved, applied for, same for qualifications, and how engaged people are with the system. Now, we've talked a little bit in the past about having like managed and unmanaged services. So a managed service would be where obviously you have frontline workers working with people, whether, like I say earlier, whether that's tutors, careers advisors, whoever that might be. Regardless of whether it's a managed or unmanaged service, you will always have this functionality available to you. You'll always be able to see this kind of strategic view. If you have an unmanaged service, what you can't obviously then do is drill down into the key workers or the advisors or tutors, because obviously those roles do not exist in the unmanaged service world. But if they do, of course, you can. A very similar view to that, of course, though, even in this unmanaged service that we're looking at here, you can still drill down into individual candidates. This candidate hasn't completed anything, I'll just select somebody else. So this very much reflects what you would see as a candidate if you're going through the candidate gateway. It shows you all of their preferences, the past occupations, the best occupational matches, the best matches based on interest, styles and skills, as well as the profile and progress, so you can see their work styles, profile. You can get that in a number of different ways, as well as a kind of narrative view, similar with kind of interests, and same again with skills, where you're able to see all of the skills that apply to, in this particular instance, administrative assistants, and even the proficiency expertise, if you like, for each of those individual skills. You can do something similar with analytics. So again, for this particular candidate, we can see all of the different jobs that they've looked for and in which job family they're look into. Where we're looking here at an individual, of course, we can even then drill a bit further in, so you can see the last, in particular, 5 jobs that they've looked at. which ones they've saved, which ones they've applied for, and similarly we can do the same for qualifications and training, so you can see which qualifications they've looked for, saved and inquired about. You can obviously see their engagement here as well, how much time they've spent on the system, how many of the missions and challenges that they've done. And again, just bearing in mind, we might have different use cases, different requirements for different organisations that might want to use this, colleges or local authorities, as I keep saying. There could be some variability there in what people have as a requirement that they desperately want to see and what they don't. Some people might, for example, never drill into this level of detail. They might just have this the functionality available to them. They do a link on the website and nobody ever really goes into this level of detail, but we do have it all there in the background if we so require it. Just around jobs and occupations, we can even do it. This is obviously very specifically if people are looking for work exclusively or explicitly. You know, you can look for the jobs that they do show on the candidate gateway, but this is just a mirror view of that, if you like. If you've got an advisor, an employment advisor, careers advisor, whatever, working with somebody to kind of point to them in terms of what might be the suitable jobs for them to do, and you can use these parameters here to reference jobs based on the skills, styles, interests, preferences, or you can even just go through the full gamut of all of the different occupations that we have on our system if you want to search in that way as well. Again, from a more kind of strategic perspective, we have an insights page as well that allows you to look at the highest volumes of vacancies by city, county, by like low-level job family, by high-level job family. So, for example, if we look at this one, we can see in the month of January where most of the jobs are, as you would always expect. I guess that's based on the majority based in London there, or the biggest proportion at least. And this is obviously not based on everything around the UK, but that is the jobs that we have got in our database. You can do the same by kind of high-level or low-level job vacancies as well. So you can see, for example, the biggest proportion is in professional jobs on our website, going all the way down to the pie chart there, so you can see where the proportion of jobs lie. In here we've also got some labour market analytics based on the Working Futures reports that they kind of periodically do. It'll be interesting to see what the next one looks like, obviously post-COVID. Currently it runs from 2014 to 2024. I think they'll in a relatively short time frame redo this based on all of the things that have changed over the last year or so. What these enable you to do is to kind of predict where you're expecting change to occur in different occupational areas, so you can see growth and decline in certain sectors, etc. I know we've spoken in the past really about occupational resilience, and whilst this doesn't really at this point drill down into low-level job families, it gives us some kind of sense of what those look like. And we've got lots of different ones: employment region by level, by qualification level, etc. And we can break those down into different regional areas. And this is the kind of qualification inflation stuff that I'm sure you guys are much more familiar with than I am, where there's a bigger requirement going forward in higher qualifications than there is those lower qualification areas. A couple of things to look at in the admin section here. So if we have just going on to this concept of managed and unmanaged services, again, if we so choose to have a totally unmanaged service, you can see here the links that we've got for each of these contracts that we can set up, and you can see more about how we set up contracts in the next video that I'm doing, which is around what we can do in the kind of super admin section. All you basically need is this URL. You can pop that onto a website, or as Dawn did with Cash Alumni, onto onto Illuminate. Anything you want really, anywhere where somebody can hyperlink to, you can do it that way, and then people can access it. Obviously, with a managed service, you can still do it that way as well, of course, but you can also do it where it's a kind of manual invite and then it's associated with like a caseload of an individual tutor or kind of careers advisor as well. I'm just going to jump across to a feature we're in the process of developing now as well. You can't see it on live yet because it's still in the process of being developed, but this is the concept of being able to tag qualifications against a particular organisation. So if we work with a college who want to obviously just have available to their potential learners and learners their prospectus, we can basically manage qualifications. So in this list of qualifications is everything in Ofqual, and obviously that incorporates NCFE and Cash Alumni. And what the org admin can then do is select the qualifications that they then deliver. So if you saw in the previous video, for example, and I think I highlighted it when I was describing it, there was like 700 and odd different qualifications available to somebody. Well, that's because it was across the full gamut of everything in Ofqual, whereas if it's an overall perspective, that number will obviously be proportionately smaller based on whatever it is that college or training provider offers as a offering in their prospectus. So you've got the ability to each one of these ones that we've ticked here are ones that would then appear in that prospectus, and you've even got the capability, and I think I might have mentioned this again in the previous video, if you want to edit your own qualification description, if a college wants to edit their own qualification description to match what they already have in the prospectus, they can do that. They can add their own specific website link if they so desire. Additionally, they can, if they want to, if they've got non-accredited qualifications, they can even add their own qualifications in there. So a multitude of different things that they can do to manage their own prospectus and kind of personalise the offer, along with all of that white labelling and all of the other things that you'll see in the other video, to make each instance of this seem very, very personalised. There are just a few other things that I'll just very quickly point out that you can see in the admin section. So all of the different contracts that you've got available to you. This is where you can add and edit and maintain interventions. I think we spoke previously about, we might do some work together to have like a CV guidance and CV resources. This is where we could put these type of things. It's also where you can kind of manage your users again if you're using this managed service. So this is where you'll keep all of your tutors and org admins and other roles that are available to us, as well as being able to create new ones as well. Okay, I think that covers it. There is going to be another follow-up video after this that just shows you some of those super admin functionality that's available that kind of ties some of the things that I've just been talking about together. But otherwise, thank you very much.